Hey, what's up everyone? In today's video, I want to see if I can make the Black Pearl with just stuff that's in-game, so we're not spending any real money on this video. I was thinking about a previous video that I uploaded recently, which was talking about how expensive the Black Pearl is, or the Eternal Freedom ship, whichever you want to call it. Along with everything else that's in the Emporium, this stuff's way too expensive, and for some people they can't afford that. So today I want to see if we can make our own with just the stuff that's free in game. So we're going to be spending a lot of gold today. Some stuff might be too pricey for people if you're just starting out the game. However, there's always things you can change. You don't have to do exactly what I did, of course. And I highly recommend you to be very creative with this and come up with your own stuff. If you want to, I'll say it again at the end of the video, but we have a Discord server. I'd love to see some of y'all screenshots of what your version of the Black Pearl looks like. I think it could be even more fun than just buying it from the Emporium. At least this one you could say, this is my own. This is something that I created. So, no more talking. Let's go ahead and start off with the video. So we're starting off with the figurehead. I think this is going to be the hardest one to do, because there really isn't anything that looks exactly like this. However, there's a few different ideas that I have of what this could be. But basically I'm looking for something that's pretty much all dark, because this is basically all gray with the black orb that she's hoarding. So let's go look for a few things. So my first thought was the legendary figurehead. This is mostly black. I think it looks really cool and it would go well with the aesthetic that we're looking for. However, there's a few other ones that we could go with. If you're part of the Twitch Prime thing that's going on right now, this was this week's free item. This is the Elemental Power figurehead. This one probably would look good too. But the only problem with this one is it's a lot more colorful. I also thought this Aristocrat figurehead would also be pretty good. However, like the previous one, this one's pretty colorful as well, which is why I decided to just go with the legendary figurehead. This one I think is the one people can be most creative with and can change up a lot. It wasn't super easy for me to figure out which one to go with, but I decided to go with more the black aesthetic rather than a girl holding an orb. Another figurehead that would be good for this is the ghost figurehead, which is exclusive for Pirate Legends. I don't really do that many voyages, which is why I haven't really unlocked this yet. However, if you have, this might look good with your Black Pearl parody ship, if you want to call it that. Next we have the hull. This is going to be pretty easy. It's just a black hull, and I have a few ideas of what we can do with this. So when it came to the hull, I first thought of the Shark Hunter hull. This one's pretty good. It's solid black except for some teeth marks at the very end. However, I came across the Inky Kraken hull, which I think goes a lot better with what we're trying to do here with just a solid black. This one has a bit of purple in it too. However, I don't think it's too bad. I think it looks pretty solid black. So next we have the sails, which I think is something that everyone wants the most. Like, we don't really have anything else in game that's these tattered up black sails. However, there are some things that we can do to get a sort of similar feel to it. So I found the thing that I think looks best is the black sailor sails. These ones aren't too expensive. They're about 5,000 gold. So something that newer players can get. It's solid black, other than like a little patch of light gray on the side. And yeah, I think this one's just the best one that you can go with. Another one for the sails is the Dark Adventure sails. This is another Pirate Legend exclusive. This one looks pretty nice. Black sail with, some nice looking stuff. It also has a cut at the bottom, which makes it really easy to see. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to our next one. Next we have the wheel, and this is just like a solid black wheel with a little bit of brown on it, and it's just very simple and plain in a good way. So that's what we're going to be trying to look for with this. So with this one I had a few options. We had the Hunter's wheel, which I first looked at because of, the black and brown aesthetics to it. This one's a good option, but it's a little more flashy. So I say there's like, the stuff in the middle there, and just a lot of stuff, whereas the other one looked really plain. The Dawn Hunter one is similar to this. It's a little bit darker without the brown. However, the one I think is the best for this is the Ruffian Sea Dog wheel. This requires you to have level 25 in the Order of Souls, which I don't think is too hard for people to get to. But the reason I went with this one is because it shares similar aesthetic. Maybe not so much the coloring, because this one's more of like a dark blue with some like light brown, goldish looking colors. However, I think with it has a similar aesthetic to what we're looking for in terms of like being kind of simple yet nice looking, if that makes any sense. I'd also say that the Obsidian wheel looks really good for this too, if you have that from a recent Twitch drop. You could also go with the Order of Souls wheel, which I believe you get from getting a high level in the Order of Souls. So I think the Ruffian Sea Dog one is probably the most attainable for most people, which is why I want to go with it for this list. Next we have the cannon. So this one, we have probably a couple of options for this, but I wanted to go with something that is flat barreled. So you see how it kind of just goes flat, doesn't like taper out on sides. It also doesn't have the sight at the end like I like to have on mine, like with the Reaper cannons. So this is what we're going to be looking for, something with a similar look to this. So there was a lot of options we could go for this one. We also have the Hunter cannons again, like we saw before. The Ruffian Sea Dog cannons I think looked very similar to it, to what we have. So I almost thought about going with this one. I think the Rogue Sea Dog cannons would also go well with it. The Rogue Sea Dog cannons and the Ruffian Sea Dog cannons are pretty similar, just a little bit different coloring. If I were to do it, if you're going for this type of aesthetic, I'd say the Rogue Sea Dog cannons would be best. However, there's one other one that I think looks better than both of these, and that is the Bildrak cannons. I think the Bildrak cannons go well with it. It does taper off, so like I was saying, we didn't want that, but I think everything else about it goes a lot better with it. If you don't like that tapering off at the end, you could go with the Rogue Sea Dog cannons though. Another one that would be good for this is the Magpie Wings cannon. I think this one would look pretty decent on it. However, it is more of a departure from what we saw before. This is like has a bit of red in it and other stuff with it. Next we have the cannon flare, and this is one that I didn't really think was super important, if I'm being honest, because the cannon flare you can buy is just white with a bit of like particles that float off of it. So you could probably just stick with the regular sailor cannon flare. There is a white cannon flare, however I don't know really a reason to spend money on it when the sailor cannon flare is pretty similar to it. However, for me, I like to spice mine up a little bit. If you're a pirate legend, you can get access to the Athena cannon flare, which is the one I decided to go with. This is more of a departure, but it's more of an aesthetic choice that I like. I want to have that little bit of ghostly vibes to the Black Pearl. Finally, we have the Capstan. This is just like the wheel, kind of plain looking, but still good. This one's, I think, will be a little difficult to find, but yeah, let's go ahead and look for this. So when I came in to look for this one, I started off with the Hunter Capstan again. Just the coloring aesthetics of the Hunter set looks pretty good with this. However, like the times before, this is just a little too much for me. We're trying to look for something a lot more plain. Next I looked at the Castaway Bildrak Capstan. This one's not too bad, but I didn't think the coloring looked well with it. We also had the Dawn Hunter Capstan, which is similar to the regular Hunter Capstan, but this one's a little bit more purple. It's really up to your preference. I think the Dawn Hunter Capstan might go a little bit better with it, but the one I decided to end up going with is the Grand Animal Capstan. I think this one fits the aesthetic of the Black Pearl Capstan the best. This one you can get for reaching level 10 in the Merchant Alliance, so that's pretty easy if I'm being honest. That shouldn't take you too long if you're a new player to get to. So yeah, I'll go ahead and run down what we have here. So we have the legendary figurehead with the inky kraken hole, the black sailor sails, the ruffian sea dog wheel, the bilge rat cannons, the Athena cannon flare. However, if you're going for a more accurate look, I would go with the sailor cannon flare. And finally, the Grand Admiral Capstan. I'll go ahead and throw in a bonus one here for the flag. If you're trying to be accurate to the Black Pearl like from the movies, then I don't believe it had a flag at the top. However, I would recommend the Shark Hunter flag. I think this one looks pretty good, and will go similar to the one that's in the Emporium. If you want just a black flag, that one is free with your game, so you can just go up there and you can put a black flag. Kind of plain, but that's up to you. You also have the Jolly Roger flag, which would also go well. Alright, so now, hopefully at the end of this video, you kind of got an idea, maybe some inspiration to make your own version of the Black Pearl. I know some people aren't going to be happy with the figurehead. I'm sorry about that. I think a lot of these elements you can change. This is just what I went for with my version of the Black Pearl. I want to see what y'all's version is. And if you enjoyed this video, it'd be great if you left a like and subscribe. That's it for today. I'll see y'all next time. Bye, y'all.